Welcome in once again to a house I do not own. It's Jesse, it's MJ, and the owner of the house where it's always cocktail time. It's Tim Laird.
As you know, it's always cocktail time. You walk in, and guess what time it is? It's cocktail time. Always.
I always feel weird welcoming people into a kitchen that's not mine, but you know, whatever.
It's all right. This is a welcoming kitchen. And speaking of cocktail time, this is my...
See, I threw him off.
Honey, it's gin time.
Oh, it's like my wife is here right now. It's like, after a while, honey, gin time.
Or it's gin time, honey. So either way.
English teachers dissect at your will.
So from that title, you know that we've got gin and thyme in here and honey, right?
Perfect.
So anyway, those three ingredients are key. So I'm going to start out shaker with ice, 1.5 ounces of gin,
all right,
1.5 ounces of honey syrup, which is just 1 part honey, 1 part water.
Okay.
Boom, honey syrup, 1.5 ounces each, and then 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice. And then here comes the thyme. It's time for the thyme. I have some fresh, thyme leaves here, and just a good little pinch or so of that goes in.
You know, when you put it in there, it becomes cocktail time.
It does, absolutely. Give this a nice shake. And I really like this, the thyme and the gin and the honey.
I don't think sweet when I think gin.
Well, and even if you don't like gin, you're going to like this cocktail.
Okay.
And then, of course, our garnish is a little thyme spear, just like that. Boom.
All right.
Look at that. I mean, that's a piece of art.
All right. Okay.
Cocktail. Cheers. Here we go.
Here we go.
Wow. How about that?
All right, I was totally prepared to call you a liar because I'm not a fan of gin, but this is delicious.
This is really good. And I think for those that don't like gin, if you do this cocktail, you're going to say, you know what, this is great. And I think what makes it is the honey. And the gin has a lot of different botanicals in it.
Yeah.
So it works with the thyme. I mean, if you think about it. So there's a lot of flavor in my base spirit. And you put a little honey with it, and the thyme, it just really...
Well, and the lemon, it's just nice
and
tangy. And
the lemon comes out.
Yeah. Man.
Oh, my gosh. That is so good.
You know, if like, I like to think in a different world, you used your skills instead of for cocktails, maybe for like chemistry and like biology. This whole COVID thing would have been like licked, you know?
Yeah.
And it would have been a liquid form, and it would have tasted delicious.
Yes, and there would not have been any fighting over it.
No.
You know?
No.
Be like, I'll have another.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
No, I mean this
really
is
good.
like
This is so
Yeah. I'm not a gin fan.
Neither am I.
I don't taste it really.
No.
It just tastes herby and lemony.
I taste a lot of the other things that gin is noted for.
Right. They have like licorice, the anise and some other botanicals. So it has a lot of botanicals in it. Of course, the juniper berry.
That's what I always think of.
Gin,
Yeah.
So,
a juniper tree.
And if you think about juniper and thyme, it goes great together.
I worked at the tasting bar up at Huber's, and they have their own gin. And so whenever people would come up to try it, I was like, all right, well, the first thing you need to know is I don't know nothing about gin. So I know I'm not cool enough to just order it straight up or like in a gin and tonic. So try it at your will.
I've got to try Huber's gin too, because I'm always looking for different spirits, always on the search. So
I've heard good things, but again, like
Not your wheelhouse.
no, gin is a it's a liquor that I want to understand, but like my brain's not wired that way. I guess that's the better way to put it. I don't know.
I just have Snoop playing in my head. That's all.
Gin and juice. Gin and juice.
That's part of the reason why I'm like I feel like I should try this.
Right,
What is the big deal about this? I'm like, I don't like this.
Well, gin is in my wheelhouse, but you should see my wheelhouse. It's packed. There's not much room in my wheelhouse because everything's in there. I got all categories. Everything's in there.
But I feel like gin and tonic it's a classic drink, and it's like when you go to the bar though and you order that, like that's a statement about you as a person, as a drinker. Like it's cool in my opinion. Like I'm gonna have a gin and tonic, and I someday I hope to grow up enough to
or a gin martini with olives.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, like You go and you order a gin and tonic or a gin martini with olives. You're not getting carded because they know. All right, you've been
You're a professional drinker.
Sure, we'll go with that. That's yeah.
But responsibly.
Well, of course.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
So it's just one of those things that I always think is a little bit more sophisticated than my palate is, which is not hard.
But I'll tell you, so our challenge is, if you don't like gin, try this cocktail.
Yes.
And I think you're going to come a whole nother appreciation for gin.
Absolutely.
For sure. And this is a great way if you're in a situation where you are around gin drinkers, because I've been in this where I've been around people who like gin. Scotch is another one that I kind of get. And I have a lot of friends that drink that, and I'm the outsider. But this is a cocktail that you can make for them or for yourself and still feel included.
And there was one thing about gin too is, unlike vodka, where it leaves you breathless because you can't smell like you've been drinking all this stuff.
Yeah.
Now gin, if you drink a couple of gins, like especially martinis, you'll come out like a Christmas tree because it has all the juniper.
That is accurate.
Yeah.
Yes,
You can just say, honey, I was just looking for the Christmas trees. That's all. And
I was
Christmas tree shopping.
It's July. It's Christmas in July.
Pine mulch. That's what I was doing.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
There it is.
All right. Well, try this for yourself.
Yes.
The instructions, the ingredients, all of that, of course, is
Very good.
always in the video right there. That way you don't have to rewatch, write down, rewatch, write down, all that good stuff. It's easy to make. If you're like me, maybe you're making some pork chops, you get some fresh thyme. It's a great thing to whip up right there.
Honey season. You got a lot of people with your local honey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Try that out. Try different kinds.
Yeah, so a lot of great. Listen, we gave you like 7 excuses to make this. I mean, we're doing the work for you. The only thing we ask in return is just share this with friends, like and subscribe, and all of that fun stuff. Because our bosses, every time we come here in the afternoon, they're like, "You're not really working," and I'm
Playing, aren't you? And we're like,
No, it's work.
It's serious.
Yes.
Serious
Serious
work.
Yes.
This is
So-
serious business.
So as always, until next time, cheers.
Cheers.